Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitya Gaura Haribo 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 Nitya Gaura Haribo Hare Krishna. So till this comes, I don't need the laptop. So today I'm going to be speaking on a very interesting theme based on रामायण का बुक्स है यहाँ पे नहीं खत्म हो गया don't even have one book एक book भी नहीं है then नाम रामायण को बोल के क्या yeah ठीक है I was supposed to speak on Nam Ramayan, but before I reached here, the books got over. But anyway, uh, we will still speak on it. So those who want the books can get it, later. So that I'll at least give you all an introduction to it. So Nam Ramayan is a very special and a very powerful prayer. How many of you all know the Nam Ramayan, or at least have heard of Nam Ramayan? Put up your hands. Okay, so at least half of you all know about it. So Nam Ramayan is written by a great Acharya named Lakshman Acharya from the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, and he wrote the Nam Ramayan with this thought that through this one prayer, you will actually be reciting the entire Ramayana. So this has 108 names of Lord Ram. Every name of Lord Ram describes one quality of Lord Ram. And based on the name and the guna, the quality, there is a leela, there is a story connected to it. So when we chant the holy names, it is said that there is Nam, Rupa, Guna, Leela. So these are the progression in which you absorb yourself in God. Nam means chanting the holy names of Ram, of Krishna. When you chant the holy names of God, then the Rupa manifests. The moment you say Ram, you can immediately picture, Maryada Purushottam Ram, right? And then when you say, so when you chant the names of Ram, first the form manifests. And after that, guna, the qualities of the Lord manifests. And then after that, the lila or the pastimes of the Lord manifest. So that's the way in which the manifestation happens. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be picking up different names of Lord Ram in this book known as Nam Ramayan. And we will chant the name of Ram. And then based on that name of Ram, I'll explain to you all a story. And based on the story, there is a beautiful meditation on one of the qualities of Lord Ram. And based on that, we will actually be able to imagine the form of Lord Ram. So that's the way in which we are going to be, discussing. Of course, I had a presentation where I could have shown all of you all different images of this of the Supreme Lord along with his pastimes. Whenever that wire comes, we will sort it out. So when I'm going to chant the names of Ram, all of you all can chant after that, okay? So if you see it, all these names end with Ram, okay? So this one, I'm picking up random names of the Lord, okay, from the Ram Ramayana. So the Ram Ramayana is sequentially arranged. That means there is Balakand, Ayodhyakand, Aranyakand, like that, sequentially all the way up to Uttarakhand of Ramayana. So, but today I'm not going sequentially, I'm going randomly. Okay, just pick up different names and discuss. Vishwamitra Priyadana Ram. So here, this talks about Ram, who is very dear to Vishwamitra Muni. That's the name of Ram that is mentioned over here. Here is a story in that connection. Vishwamitra Muni came to Ayodhya to request Dasharath Maharaj to send Ram along with him to protect his yajna from Marich, Subahu and all these other demons. So Dasharath Maharaj was very hesitant in the beginning, and then eventually, he agreed to send Ram along with Vishwamitra Muni. So here, there is a very interesting thought that comes here. In the Ramayana, one of the sections of the first section of the Ramayana is known as Balakand. Why is it called Balakand? Bala means childhood. Balakanda means a section which refers to the childhood of Lord Ram. But if you actually study the Balakand, Balakand probably has about um, 2000, 3000 verses, maybe a little more. So if you actually, my God, it's a big army of kids. Very good, very good. Very important. Haribol, he's lost. Let's talk about Balakand. So, if you actually study the Balakand of Ramayana, out of the thousands of verses in the Balakand, there are only 10 verses that talk about Ram's childhood. Out of thousands of verses, only 10 verses talk about Ram's childhood. After those 10 verses, Ram is 12 years old. He was born, then there are 10 verses, and then he's 12 years old. Now tell me, logically, does it make sense calling one entire section Balakand when only 10 verses are there of, Ram's childhood? Doesn't make any sense, isn't it? Because every Kand of the Ramayana, you will find that the Kand is named after the most important incidents in that section. Like Ayodhya Kand is named Ayodhya Kand because all the important parts of Ramayana in that particular section happen in Ayodhya only. Then Aranya Kand is Aranya Kand because all the things that happen in the forest. And then Kishkinda Kand is called Kishkinda Kand because of the activities that happen in Kishkinda. But Balakand is called Balakand not because of the childhood of Lord Ram. Next. So Balakand is called Balakand not because of the childhood of Lord Ram. Now the question is, why is it called Balakand? Who is the Bala in the Balakand? The answer is the Bala in the Balakand is Vishwamitra Muni. How is Vishwamitra Muni Bala? He is an elderly person. At this point in time, Vishwamitra Muni is at least a few thousand years old. He is not a child. I mean, by any standard, he has gone beyond old age also, you know. So why is Balakand called Balakand? Why is it talking about childhood of Vishwamitra Muni when he is literally the fag end of his life? Because the Bala here refers to Vishwamitra's childhood in devotion, in bhakti. He is an adult. He is an elderly person as far as age is concerned. It's called Vayovriddha. As far as age is concerned, he is very, very elderly. As far as knowledge is concerned, he is very, very elderly. It's called Jnana Vriddha. As far as his character is concerned, he is very, very elderly. Shila Vriddha. But as far as bhakti is concerned, he is a child. Why? Because Vishwamitra Muni has been following the path of austerities. The path of austerity, it's a very tough path. None of us can manage it. None of us can claim to be having any kind of ability to do austerities. Tomorrow is Ekadasi. How many people love Ekadasi fasting? You know, hardly. I have not found anyone in ISKCON so far who says, "I love Ekadasi Prasad. I love Ekadasi fasting." Not easy. Austerities are not easy in this world. You sit for 2 hours to chant japa on the floor with a erect back. You will definitely have a backache at the end of 2 hours. Or your knees will start paining, you know. So austerities is not meant for this age. So Vishwamitra Muni was an expert in austerities. But as far as bhakti is concerned, He was a baby. He was a child. He's just learning devotion. Therefore, this Balakand is called Bala. And the Bala is Vishwamitra Muni. And why is it saying Vishwamitra Priyadhana Ram? Because Vishwamitra Muni has understood, if I have to grow in my spiritual journey, if I have to evolve in my spiritual journey, then I need to take shelter of some higher powers. So he said, Ram is there in this world, might as well go and stay with him for some time. So technically, if you see, Vishwamitra Muni tells Dasharath Maharaj, I am taking Ram with me to the forest. And I'll train him in weapons. I'll train him in so many skills. But actually, what he meant to say was, I'm going to go through training. So I am teaching him, but actually, he's going to teach me. I'm going to teach him skills. I'm going to teach him austerities. But I'm going to learn from him the science of devotion, the science of bhakti. And therefore, Vishwamitra Muni is very dear to Lord Ram. Rather, Lord Ram is very dear to Vishwamitra Muni because he is the one who is going to teach Vishwamitra Muni something that he didn't know. The next verse, it says, Kaushalya Sukha Vardhana Ram. So here, this verse technically means Kaushalya Sukha Vardhana. Kaushalya is the mother of Lord Ram. Sukha Vardhana means he increases the pleasure of Kaushalya. And to understand this, let me tell you a story. When Vishwamitra Muni took Ram and Lakshman along with him to the forest, Ram and Lakshman went along with Vishwamitra Muni deep into the forest. Many hours passed. And at some point, Ram Lakshman got exhausted. Like they traveled for many, many miles. And it was late in the evening. Vishwamitra Muni, he decided to take rest for the night over there. And Ram Lakshman were lying next to him. They're fast asleep. So Vishwamitra Muni told them stories. This is the first time Vishwamitra Muni was dealing with youngsters. Taking care of youngsters is not easy, isn't it? Restless minds and so much energy. Vishwamitra Muni is used to living alone. Those who are used to living alone and then they come across chaos like this. It's not easy, isn't it? Children literally make you grow. They make you tolerant. They make you patient. They make you, so many things that you are not. So Vishwamitra Muni at this point in time, when he was looking at Ram and Lakshman next to him, lying next to him, he was thinking, what do I do to make these two young boys, sleep peacefully? Obviously, he can't provide them beds. They are in the forest, right? So in a forest, you just close the door. Oh, there's no door. Okay. So we have to learn to tolerate. So so Vishwamitra Muni cannot provide them any comforts because they are in a forest. Ram and Lakshman did not ask Vishwamitra Muni which hotel you have booked. They didn't ask him, is it 5-star or 4-star? They didn't ask him, have you seen reviews before booking the hotel? They just went with him, completely depending on him. And Vishwamitra Muni, he did his best, whatever best he could. What is the best he could? He put some leaves and flowers and he made Ram Lakshman sleep on that. That's the best he could. But Vishwamitra Muni realized, what I can't do in terms of comforts, let me do with my words. So he started telling stories to Ram and Lakshman. And they went to sleep peacefully. The next day, early in the morning, Vishwamitra Muni got up. And he went to do his tapasya and his prayers and all that. Sages typically get up much before Brahma Muhurta, early in the morning. And they perform all their austerities and sadhana. After he did whatever he needs to do, when he came back, he saw Ram Lakshman still sleeping. So then he wants to wake them up. So Vishwamitra Muni goes and sits next to Ram and Lakshman to wake them up. When he sits next to Ram and Lakshman to wake them up, suddenly he sees the beauty of the sleeping Ram. He gets mesmerized, seeing the beauty of Lord Ram lying on the floor, sleeping early in the morning. How many of y'all think you are beautiful when you get up? Probably it's like a horror show, when somebody wakes up, if they see themselves in the mirror, they'll get scared. We cannot ever claim that we are beautiful when we wake up in the morning. But Lord Ram, when he's asleep, when he wakes up early in the morning, he is most beautiful. So Vishwamitra Muni is mesmerized by the beauty of the sleeping Ram. And um, in his awestruck, thought process, he begins to think how fortunate Kaushalya is. Every day she gets to see Mangalarti Darshan of Lord Ram, early morning darshan of Lord Ram. And Vishwamitra Muni begins to appreciate Kaushalya's greatness. And then he chants this very famous prayer, Kaushalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narsha Ardula Kartavyam Devamanikam. This is composed by Vishwamitra Muni. When he saw Lord Ram just sleeping over there and he saw the beauty of Lord Ram. And Vishwamitra Muni was so amazed that, and he was so awestruck by the greatness of Kaushalya that he chanted the name of Kaushalya for 1 hour. So Kaushalya Supraja, he didn't chant the whole verse. He only said Kaushalya for 1 hour. He was so amazed by the greatness of Kaushalya. So Vishwamitra Muni, for the first time in his life, he was able to appreciate the greatness of somebody else. See, there are two paths. There's a path of austerity, and there's a path of devotion. In the path of austerity, you focus on your own greatness. I'm sure you must have all come across austere people in your life, right? Very austere. They do heavy, heavy fasting. They do a lot of nirjal, lot of fastings and all they do, a lot of austerities they do. And the interesting thing about very austere people is that they talk about it all the time. They talk about what austerity they do all the time. So, when you follow the path of austerities, you focus on your own greatness. You focus on your own abilities. Because to control hunger, it is who have to control hunger, isn't it? You have to put that effort to control your hunger. But the path of devotion is very different. In the path of devotion, it is not about you. It is about the people that you associate with. So you grow in the path of devotion depending on the blessings, depending on the prayers of those who you are with. So if you think that you're going to grow in your bhakti on your own, with your own efforts, you're wrong. The path of devotion is a path of dependence, where you ask for mercy, where you beg for prayers, where you actually ask for grace. Because you realize, what can I do with my own little abilities? So Vishwamitra Muni, all his life, he has been following the path of austerities. And therefore, he only talks about his own greatness. But today, when he saw the sleeping Ram, he suddenly started remembering the greatness of Kaushalya and started appreciating her. So his life has suddenly taken a change. So from the path of austerities, he has come to the path of devotion now. And is appreciating the greatness of Mother Kaushalya and her devotion to Lord Ram. He was thinking, I am getting to see the sleeping beauty of Ram today. But Kaushalya is seeing the sleeping beauty of Ram for so many years now. Every day she is seeing. How fortunate she is. There is a very interesting story of a person who went to meet Vedanta Desikar. So Vedanta Desikar is a very exalted Sri Vaishnava Acharya. So this person goes to Vedanta Desikar and he asks him, um, what is the best time to have darshan of the Lord? What is the best time to have darshan of the Lord? Vedanta Desikar tells him, you should go early in the morning during Mangalarti time. So this person asks Vedanta Desikar, why do you say so? So Vedanta Desikar tells him, I'll tell you a secret that nobody knows. And this secret will tell you why Mangalarti darshan is so important. Vedanta Desikar says, so they were living in Kanchipuram. Kanchipuram is in Tamil Nadu and it's a very holy place. And in Kanchipuram, there is a very beautiful temple of a deity named Varadaraj. In the last 2-3 years back, there was this Ativaradar festival, the whole world was running to see the deity. So Vedanta Desikar told him a very interesting story about Varadaraj. He said, Varadaraj, he stays in his altar all day long. So in South Indian Sri Vaishnava temples, the altar of the Lord Vishnu and the Lakshmi Devi, they are in two different places many times. So here, Varadaraj has his own altar, and Lakshmi Devi, her name is Perindevi Tayar. She has her own altar. All day long, Varadaraj is standing in his altar. But in the night, when the temple goes to sleep, the doors are locked and all that. Varadaraj goes to Lakshmi Devi's altar to spend the night with Lakshmi Devi. And when Varadaraj is sleeping, he sleeps on the hand of Lakshmi Devi. So Lakshmi Devi puts her hand like this, and Varadaraj sleeps on her hand. So next day, when Mangalarti time comes, he gets up and runs and comes back to his altar. So the devotees go and have darshan of Varadaraj. And Vedanta Desikar says, whoever goes at that time to have darshan of Varadaraj, he will fulfill all your desires. This devotee is asking why. So Vedanta Desikar says, because Varadaraj is very shy at that point in time. Why is shy? Because he was lying down like this in Lakshmi Devi's hands. The bangles of Lakshmi Devi, they make a mark on the neck of Varadaraj. And that mark is very visible. So if somebody goes and has darshan of Mangalarti, they will see that mark. Varadaraj is scared. He's embarrassed. What if they go and tell other people that this is what I am doing in the night? So he doesn't want them to go and tell the secret to anybody else. So he gives them a bribe. Whatever you ask, I'll give, you keep quiet. So Vedanta Desikar says, therefore you should go for Mangalarti Darshan. Because that is the time when the Lord is most merciful. See, usually in the daytime when Shringar Darshan happens, the Lord is very gorgeously dressed, right? So naturally, when the Lord is very gorgeously dressed, he is a king. But in Mangalarti time, he is dressed in night clothes, isn't it? And when he is dressed in night clothes, he is literally in his bedroom. Now, you can get access to a king in his royal court easily. But can you ever go to the bedroom of the king unless you're really close to him? Isn't it? So if someone gets to go for Mangalarti of the deities, that means you should know you've got entrance into the bedroom of the Lord, literally. And that's how close you are to the Lord. That's why Mangalarti Darshan, very less people are there. Obviously, nobody gets up. But it's also only meant for family members who are like very, very close to the Lord, basically. So those who manage to reach there, you should understand they are really close to the Lord. So when Vishwamitra Muni is looking at Kaushalya, he feels So happy. And he's thinking, Kaushalya is so fortunate. Every day she gets to see Ram like this. And that's the whole thought behind Kaushalya Sukhavardhana Ram. So the next verse, घोर ताटका घातक राम. So in this, it talks about how Tataka, who was a very dangerous and a very ghastly demoness. Ghataka Ram means he destroyed her. Ghor Tataka Ghataka Ram. So let's meditate a little bit on this story. I'll narrate the story to you all, and then we'll focus on the meditation that we can learn from this story. When Vishwamitra Muni, Ram, and Lakshman were traveling around in the forest, they come to a particular section of the forest which is completely desolate. The trees there don't have any leaves, they don't have any fruits, they don't have any flowers, barren trees. And the entire forest is filled with such trees, very hot, very dry, no water, no animals. So Ram was very surprised. How can there be such a forest? And why is the forest like this? Vishwamitra Muni tells the story of this forest. And many things he tells, and one of the things he talks about is Tataka's anger. So Tataka had a husband whose name was Sunda. Sunda. So this guy, he was a Rakshasa obviously. He used to love to harass the sages. Go and just trouble, the sages. There are some people like that, who just love to trouble others for no reason. So the Sunda was going and harassing different sages. One day, he went and harassed Agastya Muni. And that day he really fell in trouble. Because Agastya Rishi is very angry with this person. And he cursed this person that you will die immediately. Instantly, Sunda was burned to ashes and he died. So Sunda's wife Tataka, when she heard that about the death of her husband, she was very upset with Agastya Rishi. And in all anger, along with her sons Marich and Subahu, she attacked Agastya Rishi's ashram. And Agastya Rishi cursed Tataka and Marich Subahu to become huge demons who are just roaming around hungrily. So Agastya Rishi, he cursed them and he went away. This Tataka, she was so upset about that forest where she lost her husband that she set the entire forest on fire, literally. And she drove away all the animals in the forest. And she began to rule that forest completely. So Vishwamitra Muni tells this entire story to Ram. And he tells Ram that you have to kill Tataka. So Ram, he picks up his bow and he twangs the bow. He doesn't use an arrow, he just pulls the string of the bow. The sound of the twanging of the bow is so loud that practically the entire forest reverberates. And Tataka, who's on the other side of the forest, she wakes up. And she's very angry that there is such a big sound that has come. Somebody has come to disturb me. So she comes running from there, that direction, to this end where she hears a sound. And it's amazing, the description that is given of Tataka is very interesting. It says, Tataka was so huge, massive demoness. And she was wearing a garland around her neck. You know what the garland was made up of? The garland was made up of elephants. The trunk of one elephant tied to the tail of another elephant. And the trunk of that elephant tied to the tail of another elephant. She made a garland of elephants. Imagine how huge she must have been. And when she ran with such a massive size, wherever she stepped, wherever her foot went in, it created craters and a place filled with water. So like that, she ran towards where Ram is. When Ram, Vishwamitra Muni, and Lakshman, they see the size of Tataka, this Ghora Tataka, so they get scared. So Vishwamitra Muni tells Ram, kill her. Now here is something that is very interesting that happens. Here is Vishwamitra Muni, who is a guru of Ram. He tells Ram, kill her. Ram is thinking, should I kill her or should I not kill her? Why? Because she's a woman. In the career of Lord Ram, this is the first killing that he's going to do. And the first person that he's going to kill is a woman. And interestingly, even in Krishna's career, the first person he killed is a woman. Putana. But Krishna didn't think so much. He just killed. But Ram thinks so much. This is the difference between Krishna and Ram. Krishna just does it. But Ram thinks hundreds of times before doing anything. Why? Because Krishna is a supreme Lord. He is not here to show what to do and what not to do. He is here to show his pastimes and attract us to him. But Ram has come here as a human being. And as a human being, he wants us to learn how one should behave in different situations of life. Even when his guru Vishwamitra Muni is telling, Ram is thinking, should I do or not? What does it mean? It means that even if your guru gives you an instruction, you must use your own intelligence also to process that instruction, to find out if that instruction is actually valid. You find out if that instruction is actually, genuine, if it is actually in alignment with the scriptures, then act on it. So Ram started thinking a lot. Vishwamitra Muni, when he saw Ram is thinking so much, he understood that Ram is trying to decide whether this is the right thing for me to do or not. Vishwamitra Muni gives supporting evidence. Vishwamitra Muni defines who is a woman. Very interesting. Being a woman is not just about a gender. There are qualities that define a person who is a woman. And the primary quality is compassion. Motherly compassion. So today you find so many women who don't have motherly compassion. According to Vishwamitra Muni's definition, is not a woman. He tells Ram, she is not a woman, kill her. She doesn't have any qualities which are feminine. So, the scriptures give us very interesting ways of looking at life, looking at our own natures, looking at who we are, and looking at what is right and wrong. And then Vishwamitra Muni gives examples of past where women have been killed. He says Indra, he killed a, a lady named Kumati because she was doing something that was going to destroy the gods. And then he gives the example of Lord Vishnu killing Bhrugu's wife named Khyati. So after telling all these examples, and Vishwamitra Muni tells, Baba, now at least kill. Ram then then he suddenly says, yes, yes. Now I'm convinced. He took his bow and arrow, and then he shoots the two hands of Tataka first. Even after that, he's thinking, should I kill her? Or can I, without killing her, can I solve the problem? When Ram shoots the hands of Tataka, both the hands are gone. Tataka disappears. And from hiding, she starts throwing huge stones at Vishwamitra Muni, at Ram and Lakshman. And because she's hiding now, Ram doesn't know where the stones are coming from. And it starts getting dark. So Vishwamitra Muni tells Ram, please don't waste time showing compassion here. This lady doesn't deserve your compassion. Her power will increase when the sun sets. Better eliminate. And then finally, Ram waits. Tataka is throwing stones from hiding. And suddenly, at some point, she starts laughing. And the moment she laughs, Ram understands where she is and he shoots an arrow, and Tataka is dead. Ghor Tataka Ghataka Ram. This Ram is a very thoughtful Ram. This Ram is a Ram who does not take hasty decisions. This Ram is a Ram who is a leader. So when you are a leader and you're supposed to take a decision, and especially the decision is connected with justice. What justice are you talking about here? Killing a person is not a joke, isn't it? In our case, we may not have to ever take a decision like this. You have to kill somebody. But you might, in your own roles, in your jobs, may have to terminate a person. Same, language is similar, right? You have to give somebody a pink slip. It's as good as killing only, in one sense. When you have to take decisions that are heavy, that are going to affect the other person's life very badly, you have to think, not once or twice, you have to take 100 times. Because a good leader is someone who takes decisions based on greater good of others. So if my decision is going to destroy somebody else's life, going to cause pain to somebody else's life, I have to be able to justify to my conscience that I need to do it and there is no other way. If I'm not able to justify it to my conscience that I need to do it and there is no other way, then you might do it, but then for the rest of your life, you will be in thinking, I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it. So in such cases, it is very, very important to understand what the whole idea of decision making is. A leader must be aware and then take a decision. Okay. Now I'm going to share with you all another shloka, a very interesting shloka. कौशिकामक संरक्षक रक्षक राम संरक्षक राम. So here Kaushika is another name of Vishwamitra Muni. Vishwamitra Muni is also called as Kaushika. This is his previous name. Before he became Vishwamitra, he was called Kaushika. So Vishwamitra Muni, he was performing a tapasya, a yajna. If you remember, I told you all, he brought Rama Lakshman to help him support in the yajna. So just now he killed the mother Tataka, and now he has to protect Vishwamitra yajnas from the two sons, Marich and Subahu. The yajna is happening in a place known as Siddhashram. Siddhashram is a very powerful place. It's a place of austerities. Many, many great personalities have performed tapasya in that place. When Ram, Lakshman and Vishwamitra Muni reach Siddhashram, Vishwamitra Muni tells something very interesting to Ram. He tells Ram, my dear Ram, this ashram, Siddhashram, is as much yours as it is mine. What is the meaning of that? Why does he say like that? Because right now, Vishwamitra Muni is staying in that ashram with his disciples. But before him, this ashram was occupied by Vamanadev. Vamanadev was one of the incarnations of the Lord. He stayed in this ashram and performed his tapasya there. Now, who is Vamanadev? Vamanadev is Ram only, right? So today, Vishwamitra owns the ashram. But does it actually belong to him? Long back, Vamanadev owned the ashram. But now does it belong to him? No. The interesting thing is that this is how life is. Today I own something. But if I think that this is mine, I'm a fool. Because before me, somebody else was owning it. Like we all, all of you all stay in rented houses. Before you took that house on rent, somebody else was staying there, right? Somebody else called it their house, isn't it? Somebody else put name boards on it, and they called it their house. And after you're gone, somebody else is going to stay. That is how life is. We travel in trains and flights and all that. You book a seat, you book a ticket, you get your seat. After the flight is over, when you get off, do you take a seat along with you? You can't say, "Arey, I booked the seat, my seat it is. It is your seat for 1 hour. After that 1 hour gets over, it is somebody else's seat. That's how life is. So Vishwamitra Muni is telling Lord Ram, this ashram belongs as much to you as it belongs to me. Right now, I am the caretaker. But I know that you are the owner. So God is a permanent owner of everything in this world. We are simply temporary owners. So if the temporary owner starts feeling that I actually own this place, this is my permanent house. You yourself are not permanent. How you are staying in permanent house? If we are not permanent, what is the point in having permanent house? Isn't it? So here Vishwamitra Muni is acknowledging that. And then he tells Lord Ram that I'm going to do a yagya now. This yagya is meant for the welfare of the world. The word Vishwamitra means Vishwa means world and Mitra means friend of the world. So Vishwamitra is a friend of the universe. He's a friend of the whole world. He's trying to do welfare for the whole world. So he tells Ram, I'm going to do yagya, which is going to last for 7 days and 7 nights. And this yagya is a very important yagya. But for me to do this yagya, I have to take two vows. The first vow I have to take is the vow of silence. I can't speak for 7 days and 7 nights. And the second vow I have to take is the vow of abstinence from anger. For 7 days and 7 nights, no matter what the reason is, I can't get angry. Have you ever tried to take such a vow in your life? Abstinence from anger. Matlab, if somebody is going to irritate you also, you should not get angry. It'd be a very interesting vow for husband and wives to take together. Very intense vow. And look at Vishwamitra's point. He's saying, I have taken this vow, but the problem is that when I try to follow this vow, these two demons, Marich and Subhaho, come and take advantage of it. When you try to do something, there will be somebody who will take advantage of it. Isn't it? Such a nice thing, not getting angry. Such a nice thing, isn't it? Such a nice thing to remain silent. But if somebody is going to take advantage of that vow of yours, how is it nice? So Vishwamitra is saying, I taken such a vow. But what to do? There are these two demons who are harassing me like anything. Every time I try to do this yagya, these two demons come and destroy the whole yagya. And I can't do anything, I'm helpless. See, it's not that Vishwamitra cannot deal with the two demons. He can easily destroy the two demons in one moment. But for him to destroy the demons in one moment, he has to break his vow. And he doesn't want to do that. Therefore, he goes and brings Ram. He tells Ram, please help me complete my yagya. I'm going to start my yagya by taking these vows. And I want you and Lakshman to be alert for the next 7 days and 7 nights. Let me warn you, these guys can come anytime. Anytime. From anywhere they can come. You have to be constantly alert. And Vishwamitra Muni starts doing his yagya. When Vishwamitra Muni starts doing his yajna, Ram and Lakshman take on a very interesting formation. Kaushikamakha Samrakshakaram. This word Samrakshaka is explained in a very interesting way by the Acharyas. It is explained that Vishwamitra Muni's yajna kund is like the eyeball. And Ram and Lakshman are like two eyelids. Just like the eyelids protect the eyeball, similarly Ram and Lakshman were protecting the yajna of Vishwamitra Muni. And how do the eyelids protect the eyeball? One eyelid goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. The other eyelid is constantly in one place. Correct? So Lakshman was in one place. And Ram would go around the yajna and come back. Go around the yajna and come back. Just like the eyelids, right? Very nice example, right? Very graphic example. And just like that eyeball is so important, and therefore the eyelids have to be always alert. Anything comes inside your eyes, the eyelids have to protect you, isn't it? If they don't protect you, something can go in. So here Vishwamitra Muni told Rama Lakshman, you have to take care of me. I am doing the yajna. The yajna is very important. But you have to make sure that the yajna is protected. So Rama and Lakshman were super alert for 6 days and 6 nights. And the yajna was reaching its culmination on the seventh day. Rama and Lakshman were thinking nothing happened. So much build up. Nothing really happened, Yajna is almost going to get over now. Vishwamitra Muni is going to pour the last oblations. Yajna is completed. So Rama and Lakshman are thinking, what is this? Why did he even call us? So peaceful it is here. Exactly when Rama and Lakshman were thinking like this, and the yajna was reaching its culmination, at that time they heard loud sounds. And Marich and Subahu, along with thousands of demons, started attacking the yajna kund. When you are this close to success, that's when you become complacent. And that's when the biggest mistakes of life happen. If Ram Lakshman had to just take a tea break at that point, chalo, 6 days we have been so much focusing, chai pi ke aate hai, That one moment, things would have completely get destroyed, isn't it? The whole scene, to understand this whole thing, let me give you a very beautiful analogy. The Yajna Kund, in which the fire is there, the Vishwamitra Muni and the sages are pouring ghee, represents the human mind. It represents the human mind. And all the sages who are pouring in ghee represent advisors, good advisors, who give us so much advice. That ghee represents all the advice that we get from all sadhus. You go and hear lectures, it's like pouring ghee into your mind, And Marich and Subahu and all the demons represent the bad advisors who want to pour dirty things into our mind. So Marich and Subahu came with so many dirty things to throw into the fire. They got all kinds of obnoxious, dirty things, meat and blood, trying to throw it into the fire. And just as when they were trying to throw all that dirty things into the fire, Ram and Lakshman got into action. Ram created a canopy of arrows above the Yajna Kund. So the moment any of those substances would fall into that canopy of arrows, it would evaporate. And nothing was falling on the ground into the Yajna Kund. This whole canopy of arrows was floating in air and is protecting the Yajna Kund. Similarly, good advisors always need protection of the intelligence. So there's a mind in which things are being poured in. Some people put dirty things into your mind, some people put good things into your mind. Now what do? We want good things, but we want to protect ourselves from dirty things. That's when we have to use our intelligence to filter. So if somebody is putting dirty things into our mind, we should have Ram and Lakshman protecting us. And if somebody is putting good things into our mind, Ram and Lakshman should allow good things to go in. That's the role of intelligence. The role of intelligence is discrimination. Discrimination right from wrong. So the intelligence is supposed to decide what things can go into the fire, what things cannot go into the fire. If the intelligence is faulty, then you lost it. Therefore, Vishwamitra Muni went and brought Ram and Lakshman only. Yeah, I don't want anybody else. I only want Ram, who represents good intelligence. And when Marich and Subahu and all these demons, they saw that they're throwing things into the fire, but nothing is actually reaching down. They decided to come on the ground and from the ground attack. So they were all floating in the sky so far. Now they wanted to come on the ground and attack from ground. When they came on the ground, they were trying to come on the ground. They realized that they're not able to step on the ground. Why they were not able to step on the ground? Because the sages were chanting mantras. They're chanting very powerful mantras. And because these mantras were so powerful, these demons were not even able to step on the ground. And you know what these demons started doing? They said, we have to counteract the power of these mantras. These mantras are positive vibrations, right? They said to counteract the power of these mantras, which are so powerfully positive, let us chant some negative vibrations. They started chanting bad words, all kinds of galis, all kinds of obnoxious words they were chanting. So below the sages are chanting mantras, and above the demons are chanting bad words, basically. And interestingly, the power of the mantras was so intense that these negative energies could not counteract the powers of the mantras. And therefore, we all need to protect ourselves from all the negative energy that comes around us in our lives. The moment you step out into the real world, there are so many people who are going to say so many things, isn't it? There are people who are going to say bad things about you. There are people who are going to say bad things about others. There are people who are going to blaspheme Krishna. There are all kinds of people that you're going to come across in this world. And therefore, it is important that you protect yourself. It's like almost taking a vaccine before stepping out. Chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is like a protective shield. Protect ourselves before stepping out into this real world. And when Marich Subahu failed throwing all this dirty things, they failed in chanting the mantras. Now they started attacking. Ram and Lakshman started shooting on Marich, Subahu and all these demons. Marich, Subahu and all these demons represent people who are trying to pull others down. You will always come across many people in your life who are trying to pull you down. Like in office, you say, I don't drink. Hey, you gone mad kya? Sadhu ban gaya. Ajo. Or you say, I don't eat onion and garlic. So I don't drink tea and coffee. They try to pull you down so badly. And the funny thing is, they try to pull you down by making you guilty. As if you only have done something wrong. Matlab, in today's world, the situation is that the person who's doing right has to defend himself. And the person who is doing wrong is very confident. Very interesting world, isn't it? Before, when somebody would do wrong, they would feel so guilty. But today, those who are doing wrong feel very confident, and the fellow who's doing right is thinking and giving explanation. I'm following vegan diet. Yeah, I'm, stomach is not well. I can't eat. What nonsense! Why we are defending ourselves? Why we are trying to prove that we are right? That's why in America, if you want to learn one thing, the one thing that you can learn from Americans being assertive. Whatever you are, be assertive about it. If you want to learn anything from America, that's one thing you should learn. And the more assertive you are, the people actually have faith in you. and they feel that this fellow knows what he's doing. Jesus Christ said this famous quote. He said, um, if you are hot or cold, I accept you. But if you are lukewarm, I spit you out. Either you be a complete devotee or be a complete materialist. Don't be in between. Unfortunately, we find that between is a sweet spot. I'm neither a devotee nor a demon. I'm somewhere in between. I can go in any direction. Sometimes I can be a devotee, sometimes I can be a demon. So people hang around in between, basically. Very dangerous place to hang around in. You go one of the sides, safe. But hanging in between is not a very intelligent idea. So either you be Marich or you be Ram. Don't hang in between, basically. So Lord Ram protected, Vishwamitra Muni from this. So this Kaushikamaka Samrakshakaram represents that Ram who is discriminative, who has the ability to discriminate the right from wrong, who has the ability to protect us from taking the wrong decisions, protect us from all the negative vibrations in this world, protect us from taking wrong steps. So that's what this whole mood of Samrakshakaram is. So I'm going to do one more before we end. नाविकाधाविक मृदुपदराम. So here, this is a story of Guha's people. When Lord Ram was in the forest, he was just at Bharadwaj. He wanted to reach Bharadwaj Muni's ashram. So he was at Prayag basically. So the story is where Lord Ram reaches Guha's village. The, the name of Guha's village is known as Shringaberpur. And when he reaches there, Guha is very, very happy to receive Lord Ram. He welcomes him, he gives him honey and roots and fruits. And he tells Ram that, it doesn't matter that you cannot stay in Ayodhya for whatever reasons. He says, stay with me. You rule my kingdom. My people will be your people. This is a forest. Stay in the forest and rule us. I'll be your servant. Ram says, no. When I've been sent to the forest, doesn't mean I go and settle in one village in the forest. It means I'm supposed to actually be in the forest and not stay in any human dwelling. So Guha, he understands and he lets Ram go. So the next day, Ram tells Guha to arrange for a boat to take him across the river. So Guha, he arranges for one of his boatmen to come and drop Ram across the river. So this boatman prepares his boat for Ram, Lakshmana, Sita to go across the river. So Ram is about to step into the boat. Immediately the boatman says, no, stop. Please don't step on my boat. So Ram says, why? Why can't I step on your boat? He says, your feet are very dangerous. I heard that when you step on something, it becomes a woman. What if you step on my boat and it turns into a woman? I already have one wife and I'm finding it so difficult to maintain her. Now if I have two wives, what will I do? He says, no, I can't take any risk. You can't step on my boat. So Ram is wondering, how will I go to the other side without stepping on your boat? So this boatman, he says, there's only one way to do it. The problem is not your feet. The problem is the dust that is in your feet. If I clean all the dust from your feet, and I make sure it is absolutely clean, then you can step into the boat and it'll be fine. So Ram says, fine, you want to clean, you clean. So this boatman goes and gets all the paraphernalia for cleaning the feet of Ram. and he washes the feet of Ram once. And he observes very carefully. Again he washes it. Again he washes it. Keeps washing it. And every time he is washing it, he's looking at Mother Sita and smiling. So everybody is wondering, why is this boatman looking at Mother Sita and smiling? The explanation that is given is that this boatman, in his previous life, he was a tortoise in the spiritual world. And one day, Lord Vishnu was lying in the snake bed, and one of the feet of Lord Vishnu was dangling outside. And the back side of your heel, it looks like it bends like this, right? And Lord Vishnu's heel was pink in color. He was looking like a lotus bud. So this tortoise thought it is a lotus that is hanging, and he went to lick that lotus. So when the tortoise went and put his head up to lick Lord Vishnu's feet, Lakshmi Devi saw, and he said, "What is this? What is the tortoise trying to do, touching my husband's feet?" She pushed him away, didn't allow him to lick the Lord's feet. And this tortoise got born as this boatman, and now he's washing the feet of the Lord. And Sita cannot do anything this time. So he keeps looking at Sita, and he says, "See, now what you will do?" And Sita is helplessly watching him wash the feet of the Lord again and again. And then he not only washes the feet of the Lord, he takes the water, sprinkles on his head. He puts it on the head of all his family members. He drinks the water also. And then when he's completely satisfied, then he allows Ram, Lakshman, and Sita to get into the boat. And then they go across the river. And when they reach the other side of the Ganga river, um, Lord Ram is very grateful to this boatman for taking him across the river. Usually, whenever someone does something for Ram, he always wants to reciprocate in some way. He wants to give something in reciprocation. Obviously, he didn't have anything because he is in the forest. He's a beggar, literally. Sita understands the dilemma of Lord Ram. So Sita immediately removes a ring from her finger and gives it to Lord Ram. The ring is a very special ring. It has the name Ram written on it. Because it has a name Ram written on it, it has to be Sita's ring only. Correct? Ram is obviously not going to wear his own name on his finger. Nowadays, obviously, we all do that. But, Ram was very humble. He would not write his own name on. But Sita wanted to remember the Ram Nam, so she wore a ring with Ram Nam on it. So she gave that ring to Ram to give it to this boatman. And Ram gave the ring to the boatman. And the boatman said, "No, I don't want this ring." He said, "If you give me this ring and I accept this ring, our transaction will be completed. But I don't want our transaction to be completed." He said, "Today I have dropped you across this boat, across this river. When I get old and I am going to die, I want you to become a boatman and take me across the ocean of birth and death. And that will be your repayment for this." And Lord Ram obviously kept the ring with him. And the interesting part about this ring is that Ram did not give the ring back to Sita. He wore it. Sita was wondering, what is this? He's supposed to be an ascetic. He's supposed to have given up everything. But how come he's wearing that ring in his finger? Sita knows that behind everything Ram does, there must be some reason. So Sita doesn't say anything. And Ram wears that ring for the next 13 years. And eventually that is the ring Ram sends to Hanumanji to find Sita. So that's the connection of the ring. So otherwise, where is the possibility of Ram getting a ring, isn't it? And what is the possibility of the ring reminding Sita of Ram? So that's the whole story basically. So Navika Dhavika Mrudupada Ram. It refers to that Ram who has soft lotus feet. And this boatman washed and meditated on the lotus feet of Lord Ram. And he wanted to attain the lotus feet of Lord Ram, basically. And another example of this is that the Acharyas explain that the lotus feet of the Lord itself is like a boat. When you sit on the lotus feet of the Lord, it's like a boat that takes you across the ocean of birth and death, basically. So that's the other way of looking at it. So this verse is a very beautiful meditation on this, on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So every day we must also spend some time meditating on this aspect of the Lord, especially the lotus feet of the Lord. And meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord is such an important. That's why it's one of the limbs of devotional service. It's called Pada Sevanam. It's actually one of the limbs of devotional service. Pada Sevanam means using your feet to serve the Lord. That means walking to a dham, walking to a temple. That's Pada Sevanam. But Pada Sevanam also means worshipping the feet of the Lord, serving the Lord's lotus feet. So both of it is Pada Sevanam. So when we go to the temple and we get Charanamrit, what is Charanamrit? Charanamrit is technically the water that has washed the feet of the Lord. That's what Charanamrit is. So when we go to the temple and we get Charanamrit, we must accept Charanamrit in the mood of this boatman, knowing very well that the dust of the Lord, is very powerful, knowing very well that anything that you drink which is washed the feet of the Lord, it is extremely powerful. So with that meditation, we can remember this particular verse. So like this, what I have done in Nam Ramayana is essentially I have um, taken every single verse of the Nam Ramayana, the 108 verses, and created meditations like this. So every single verse of Nam Ramayana, there is a story connected to it, and then there's a meditation, what you can learn from the story, and a thought, and a small meditation on actually what we can meditate on while offering this prayer. So my request and suggestion to all of you all is that this is a book that can really become a meditation book for you all. So every day you can read one verse from this book and meditate on that one aspect of the holy name of Lord Ram. Connect with that one aspect, the story, and the whole day absorb yourself in the meditation. So that's the way this whole verse is created. Whole Nam Ramayana is created. Anybody has any questions or comments before we end? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Madhu. Use his mic.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Actually, Rama was in Treta Yuga and Vishwapitama was in Dwapara Yuga. Rama was thinking to kill lady. Then even Vishwapitama was a very intelligent person. Then he was also thinking in Dwapara Yuga to kill like Shikhandi. I cannot kill any lady in front of that. She was telling. See, Rama also he think like that, right? Yeah, that's very nice one too.
Prabhuji, I have a question. That you said that even your Guru Maharaj is telling something, you need to think whether you are implementing, whether you need to implement or not. But Guru is Sakshat Krishna. So why I should to think when my Guru Maharaj says something that I should think that whether I should do it or not?
Hare Krishna. This is a very interesting question. It's an important question to answer. Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Islam, etc., they don't give you any opportunity to challenge or raise questions. But Vedic religion doesn't work like that. Vedic culture allows you to even ask questions to your guru. It encourages you, in fact. Why? Because it does not encourage blind following. So if you want to follow something, understand it, use your intelligence, and then follow it. Don't follow blindly. Therefore, questioning is important. Questioning doesn't mean challenging. Questioning means understanding. And for me to understand, I need to ask questions. Right? So questioning doesn't mean I don't believe the Guru. It's just that I need clarity before me to practice something. Like in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the story of Vamanadev, who comes to, as a dwarf Brahman to Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj wants to give him three steps of land. But his Guru Shukracharya tells him, don't give. Bali Maharaj thinks, is he right? And he thinks and he analyzes the scripture and he realizes my Guru is wrong. He didn't follow. He didn't follow his Guru. He did what he wants to, what he felt is right, according to the scriptures. Therefore, there is a tripod in Vedic culture. This tripod is called Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. These are tripod on which Vedic culture stands. So whatever you do has to be sanctioned by all three. Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Guru means spiritual master. Sadhu means the community of devotees. And Shastra means scriptures. So if your Guru is saying something, but the other two are not agreeing to it, don't follow. If your Guru is saying something, and the other two also say the same thing, then follow. If Shastra is saying something, and Guru and Sadhu are not saying it, don't follow. That means your understanding what the Shastra is saying is wrong. So that's why this is called a check and balance system. That's only there in Vedic culture. This is not there in Christianity. This is not there in Islam. You try and go and ask the Maulvi, hey, why should I do like this? That's it, you're finished. रिकॉर्डिंग निकाला उसका कोई मेरे पीछे पड़ जाएगा बाद में. You understand?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
When you mentioned that you have in the book you have mentioned all the names of Ram. So how many? What is the number? Is it 108?
108, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And also the interesting thing is that in this Nam Ramayana, so I've written this Ramayana series called Ramayana the Game of Life. How many of you have read the Ramayana series? Anybody put up a hand here? Anybody has read the series? Okay. So at least you all know about the series, right? Ramayana series? Okay. So in the Ramayana series, I've written 6 books. Every Kand is 1 book. But I have not written the Uttarakhand as yet, which is the 7th book, basically. In this book, all 7 are there. Even the Uttarakhand is there. So it's like many people have been telling me, प्रभु जी आपने 6 बुक लिख दिया हम कभी पढ़ेंगे क्या so आप एक बुक लिख दो ना. Like many people asking me like that, just write 1 book so that we can read it. So this is my answer to that. So now Ramayana is like 1 book, the entire Ramayana is there in one place. And of course, what I have done is the stories that I have not put in the 6 books I have put here. There are many things that I could not put in the 6 books. Many, deep philosophical thoughts. Those I have put here. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, my question is on when you said that don't be in the middle, either be a devotee or a demon, right? So I always have this question, like, how can you say someone is a devotee? Do they have to come to the temple? Do they have to start chanting, or do they have to start reading Bhagavad Gita? Like, I like to think myself as I'm in the process of becoming a devotee.
Yeah. Devotee is someone who believes in Krishna, who has faith in Krishna. That's it. So now, obviously now, that's the beginning, right? It's a long journey. Adao Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Tata Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. It's a long process. But it begins with Shraddha. So if someone says, I have faith in Krishna, I have faith in Krishna's words, I have faith in Krishna's teachings, I have faith in Krishna's devotee, he's a devotee. That's it. So as soon as you have faith, you decide that this makes sense to me, you fall in the category of devotee. As simple as that. Okay? And of course, there is no point where you will say that I have become a devotee. No devotee will say that. No devotee should say that. If somebody says, I am a devotee, that person is not a devotee. Even Goswamis of Vrindavan, they are saying we want to become devotees. So there will be no point where we say that we are 100% devotees. We will never reach there. So the path of spirituality will always keep you dissatisfied, which means you can still become more. You can still, become better, which is good, basically. It'll keep us grounded. But we should venture into that path with confidence. Don't go, with half heart. That's what I meant. Okay? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class. In the Valmiki Ramayana, in the Balkand itself, actually, I think there are like around 100 verses which are like the summarization of the whole Ramayana, right? I was just thinking that is Nama Ramayana and are they related in some
No,
way?
they're not related, but it's a similar concept. It's a similar thought process, basically. So when Narad Muni speaks the entire Ramayana to Valmiki, he is kind of giving a summary of the whole Ramayana. But when Lakshmanacharya has written Nama Ramayana, he is giving a summary of the entire Ramayana, but through names of Ram. That's the only difference.
And also chronology is followed in the first one when Narad Muni is speaking that.
Yeah.
It is more chronological, right?
Both.
Like
In this also chronology is followed.
in this also.
In this
Okay.
also proper chronologies, as it is.
Okay.
Chronologically, both are similar.
Okay.
Okay. Just want to tell you all one more thing. Okay. Yeah, please. Yeah, please. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Prabhuji, you said in your talk that you need to think when you're talking about that you are hurting. Probably if you are hurt, that other than saying sorry, is there anything else?
So, if you have heard somebody asking,
Yeah.
if I have heard someone other than saying sorry, can I say
Yeah.
something else? First thing is why you don't want to say sorry.
I said sorry.
Huh,
If you say sorry.
Beyond that, yes.
Beyond
Okay,
that.
okay, okay. When you said other than that, so I was thinking, what is the meaning of other than that? So, the most important thing when you have made a mistake, when you hurt somebody, is to help them understand that you are repenting for doing that. That repentance has to be genuine. When you say sorry and you don't mean sorry, it is visible. But when you say sorry and you mean sorry, it is visible. There's a lot of things, there's something known as non-verbal communication. That means when we're saying something, our body also is saying something. So many times we are saying sorry, but our body doesn't mean sorry. Then the other person understands. This guy just, it's saying sorry, that's all. He doesn't really mean it. But when you say sorry and your body language also is saying the same thing, then that person understands this person is genuinely sorry. So my suggestion is, beyond the words, start looking at the non-verbal communication that can happen, which actually conveys the feelings.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any other questions? Yes. Yes.
We are, I was just talking to the publishers. I was just talking to the Tulsi Books, Nitin Prabhu. We are ordering the books because the books got almost over, and still many people are asking even from ISKCON Silicon Valley Temple. So we are taking pre-orders. If specific book you're looking for, then let me know. It will be coming in 2 weeks. 2 weeks it will be getting shipped. So yeah, just wanted to let you know.
You are talking about the book of the Nam Ramayana.
Nam Ramayana also, and Prabhu said Game of Life also.
There are so many books I have written.
It also got over.
Nam Ramayana.
Okay. So I wanted to tell you all one more thing before we end. Over the last, several months, I have been trying to teach people Bhagavatam in a very interesting way, which I call it as Applied Bhagavatam series. So where I am teaching the entire Bhagavatam from a practical perspective, what you can learn from it and what you can apply from the teachings of Bhagavatam. And it's a very quick narration of the whole Bhagavatam where I'm teaching the Bhagavatam through stories. So it's a very powerful way of learning Bhagavatam, basically. So I would like to invite all of you all to be a part of this venture of learning the Bhagavatam. So I do it in India on Thursday evenings at ISKCON Chopati Temple, but simultaneously it is relayed online also. So it's a offline online together live. So my request to all of you all is that if you all want to be a part of this, I'm going to show you all a QR code now. It's a scan of a Telegram group you can join. And once you join this group, in that group you will find all the recordings of the previous classes also, and you will find notes of the previous classes also. So I give very elaborate, very high quality design notes every session of these applied Bhagavatam classes. And these notes are available. All the pinned notes are available in that group, basically. In addition to that, whatever new books come out, whatever new courses that I do in great detail, all this information will be in that group. In fact, from January, I'm starting a new course on Nam Ramayana. It's going to be an 11-week course where I'll cover the entire Nam Ramayana. What I gave you all is like a little trailer of that, But I'm going to do this entire Nam Ramayana in great detail in about 11 sessions. So the information about that course, how to register for that course will all be put on that group. So that group is my main community. So where I spend a lot of time with that group, where I chant with the devotees in that group and I actually answer questions. Every Friday I open up that group for question answers. And anybody can ask any question. And I answer each and every question. So like this group is very much available. So here is the QR code for joining that group. So if anybody wants to join the group, you can just pull out your mobile phones and scan this QR code and you will immediately be a part of the Telegram group. So thank you very much for everyone for being here and such a happy experience being with all of you all today evening. And hopefully whatever you heard will help you all in your journeys of connecting with Lord Ram. Hare Krishna.
Now we will have Damodar Ashtakam. It will be led by Palika Lakshmataji. Yeah, we'll sing together. Chili.
Hare Krishna, we can all start singing together the Damodar Ashtakam. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Violukaladavamanam Paramrishtamathyanta Drutritya Gopya Rudantam Muhurnetra Yugmam Rejantam Karamboja Yugmena Shatankanetram Muhushwasakam Bhatri Rekhankakanta Sthitagreiva Damodaram Bhakti Badham Iti Drikshvalila Me Ananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajantam Akhyapayantam Tadiyeshita मे मतस्तं शतावृत्ति वन्दे वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरिषदपीह इदं ते वपुरनाथ गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्य वीरस्तं किमन्ये इदं ते मुखाम्भोजम् अत्यन्तनीले ऋतं कुण्डलैः स्निग्धा रक्तैश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितां बिम्बारक्ताधरं मे मनस्य विरास्तमलं लक्षलाभे नमो देवदामोदर अनन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभु दुःख जलधिमग्नं कृपा दृष्टिवृष्टि दीनं वदानु गृहमेष मामज्ञं निरक्षिदृश्य कुबेरात्मजौ वद मुदैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितौ भक्ति भजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मिस्ति दामोदरेह नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयधरायथ विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं अमीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भ्रजमानं यशोदाभियोलुकालादवमानं परामृष्टमत्यन्तधृतृत्य गोप्या हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodar, Radha Damodar Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodar, Radha Damodar. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
दामोदर अष्टकम की जय, श्री श्री राधा दामोदर भगवान की जय, सत्यवत मुनि की जय।
Also, we would like to welcome Jagannath Krishna Prabhu. He has come all the way from Atlanta. We welcome them by loudly chanting 3 times. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! We will now have prasadam. Devotees can make line from here. They can take prasadam and they can again sit here. If they want to have any questions with Shubh Prabhu, this is a good time. Today is his last class. Then we'll be heading back to the next session which we have to. Also, as we had 7 boxes of book that had come. We had only 3-4 programs. Now only 1.5 hours remaining, 1.5 books. So you can imagine his books are so popular. Whatever books are there, if you want, you can check out and you can take the books. Probably will be signing as well. And if you want to pre-order any books which you don't see here, you can pre-order as well. So accordingly, you can order more books because all the books together are coming in 2 weeks. So that's why. Thank you again for you can come from there. But it's a very